Alright, I think I've been given the go-ahead that I am live. Welcome everybody. This is Lassie for the PlayStation 2. In case you've never heard of this game, this was never released in the US or Japan. PAL exclusive, cel-shaded Lassie game. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's
Hi gang, this is Black.
get past the tutorial here, and the run is going to start once I select the first level here. It's actually a compilation of 7 little different mini-games, and hopefully you're ready for one of the most intense soundtracks you've ever heard in a video game. Here we go. Skipping cutscenes. So, this level's pretty straightforward. Lassie's just on a mission. I don't even remember the story of what's going on in this. It is tied into the film, but I certainly do not remember the storyline. All we need to know is Lassie is running for her life, picking up pink speed boost bones to the most epic, dramatic action movie soundtrack you're ever going to hear. She's going to rescue all her puppies, one at the end of each level. Don't you worry, there is speed tech in this game. First level's a little straightforward. And coming up is one of the hardest platforming sequences in the entire game. Like, no joke. Trying to do the platforming in this game without falling off these boxes coming up here is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in a 3D platformer, so let's see if I can do it. I know that looks easy, but you guys have to trust me. If you've played this game before, if you try and do that without stopping, it is super difficult. But we did it. Puppy's coming up here around the next bend, but first we've got to just collect a few more speed boost bones. That is actually a very heavy reset point in the run for this, by the way. It's usually about 50-50, more like 25% chance that I fail those jumps across the boxes. I'm glad you guys like my timer. First puppy found. There is a little mini game in here as well where you can feed the puppies, but we'll wait a little bit to do that because I don't have too many bones to feed them quite yet. So a few levels in, as long as I remember to do it, we will feed and play with the puppies. Alright, you guys ready for some... Well, actually, I'm not even going to spoil it for you, because this level's pretty awesome. Lassie sledding and about to go super fast. This is being played on real hardware, by the way, so the slowdown that you see is part of the game. This is what the frame rate is like. Want to avoid the grass here, as I just demonstrated for you, because if you hit it, you slow down a ton. So I want to avoid that whenever possible. The controls here are really slippery. Really, really hard to make good turns. I'm going to go this way here, and oh, my camera kind of like glitched out a little bit there. This game tends to do that. The camera will kind of just flip out on you for no reason. Collecting speed bones here, pretty big deal, because if you don't, the slowdown makes this incredibly slow. This is the moment when I first played this game, I'm like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever played, seriously. Just everything happening in this game right now is just amazing. Alright, so this turn here, I find that taking it as close to that rock as I can, even though I slow down, is faster than going wide. Because going wide, you usually smack the tree trunk. You can fall here. There's actually a ditch down below, so you got to make sure that you stay up top, because if you fall down below, it's quite slow. And when we find this puppy, the cutscene that loads here kind of glitches out and takes a little bit longer than other cutscenes, so we just got to give it a moment. No idea what causes that. It's not my disc is mint. Oh, I have some bones. Alright, so how about we feed one of the puppies? And how about the other one, we give him a little bit of exercise? Oh, there we go. We can actually let the puppies die. When I submitted this to GDQ, I actually made one of the incentives to save or kill the puppies. As far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure it would have been one of the most dramatic bid wars in GDQ history, because you can actually let them die. You can neglect them by not feeding them. Anyway, welcome to the best music in the game, where I have to round up the red sheep into the red pen, 2 red sheep, while barking, which makes them speed up a little bit. This is another big run killer because the spawning of the sheep is actually random. So sometimes you get good patterns, sometimes you don't. Here I'm actually going to opt for moving the yellow sheep in first, trying to avoid pushing that red sheep into the yellow pin. So he's starting to move left back towards his side. The bark has a pretty big radius, so I don't want to spam bark too much because it'll actually cause like the sheep that I need to move to run from a pretty far distance away. And now I need to borrow one of these sheep. Let's take the blue one today. Trying to bark to the beat. Need to talk to this guy to open up the gate for us, while making sure that the sheep does not block him from opening the gate, which can happen. Alright, now it's time for the hardest trick of the entire run. This is what I call sheep skip. This can take me many tries. It's the reason my estimate kinda is what it is. We're going to be doing a sequence break here. Nope, didn't get it. So it has a really high hitbox on the bush. This can take me quite a few tries. It's highly inconsistent. I practiced this for way longer than is probably healthy to do so. A little bit of an early jump there. And it's still pretty inconsistent. Oh! Okay, I got it. Second try. Good enough for me. Or more like third try. That is definitely good for a marathon. I can get walled there for quite a while. That skips an entire sequence with having to round up the other sheep from one side to the other side of the level, and it takes forever. Alrighty, who's ready for Metal Gear Solid Lassie style? So this time our puppy is locked in a cage in this hedge maze, and we have to avoid getting caught. If Lassie gets caught, then we get reset back to the beginning prior to capturing the puppy. If once I have the puppy, we get caught, I get reset back to the cage with the puppy. So this can lose a lot of time. Let's hope this goes fairly smoothly. This is quite a difficult part to do optimally. Even playing it safe can end in disaster because you actually don't have direct control over the puppy. It'll sort of lag behind you, so you sort of have to guide it by constantly stopping and waiting for it. The farmers here, the hedge trimmers, they will never directly gun for the puppy. They'll always go for Lassie, but it is quite possible that they will just run straight into the puppy, or the puppy runs into them. So here I kind of want to manipulate this guy to jump over the hedge maze at an angle, like that, because that way he won't have time to catch us. Oh, that's dangerously close. Come on, puppy! Okay, we're good. Ooh, that's not a good placement down there. Alright, we gotta go this way. So there is some RNG here with the placement of these guys, and that guy was directly in my path. Uh-oh, puppy! Come on, lag. Come on. It's always such a clinch-worthy moment, the hedge maze. Especially if I'm on record pace. So, a little bit slow. Ideally, we wanted to go down the center staircase, but there was a guard right there in front of us. Of course, Hedge Maze is in the chat. Shoutouts to the Hedge Maze. All right, let's feed this little puppy. We won't neglect this guy. Let's give him a little bit of special play. Oh, look, we get to brush him. Okay. I don't know what happened to the other puppy. We won't talk about that. I don't know. Alright, so this level here is Lag City. If you play this game on an emulator, this part runs... the whole game runs silky smooth. But here, let me show you what happens if I don't tilt my camera down. I'm going to leave my camera up here for this jump, though, because this is a little tricky to do blind. Thanks, we got it. And then tilt the camera back down to reduce the lag. Now, this is another RNG segment where the puppy chooses two different paths. One of them is fast, one of them is slow. We're going to hope that the puppy chooses the fast sequence. Of course, for the marathon, he chooses the slow area. That's okay. I don't typically get this one as much. The other one is more common for whatever reason, but he chose to go left this time. I think it loses about 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds or so. So there's a mechanic where you can sniff the ground and it will show you the footsteps of the puppy. And barking will show you a directional arrow. Do not pay attention to that arrow. It is... when I first played this for the first time, I was stuck on this level. See how it shows him that way? Now let's see if I sniff. Let's see where it shows him. Okay, it does show him straight. But that arrow will twist and turn to the point of confusing you. And if you're wearing headphones, it'll sound like the puppy is like to the right, but he's really to the left or behind you. It's just a pretty evil level. Oops, I did not mean to hit that. Alright, puppy's right up here. Time for the final level. And this one's quite an experience. I hope you like the music from the sheep level. Hope you were a fan of that music. Oh, we got no bones for the puppies. Sorry. Hopefully they survive one more level. It's not necessary to feed them, by the way. For a run, you just completely ignore them. But obviously in a marathon, we're going to pet and we're going to feed the puppies, right? We don't make poor life decisions in marathons with puppies that can be played with. So we're going to recruit the gang here. Lassie's rounding up the boys. We're going to recruit 2 of these dogs to help us in the final level. And let me just make sure I'm focused here, because it's kind of easy for me to forget where to go here sometimes. Make sure he's following me. He is. They can get stuck on geometry, so it's pretty important that I'm paying attention to where they're at and if they're following me. These dogs will attack me if I don't offer a bone to them as well. Kind of fighting the camera to get it in position here. Make sure they're both with me. Good. Going down into a dungeon because Eddie Hines has locked one of the poor puppies in a cage in this dungeon. We're here to rescue him. Okay, we gotta tell him to stay. Totally not a mechanic that has lost me record attempts before, by any means. Definitely a really decently working mechanic, for sure. Not jank whatsoever. Alright, now we gotta hope that this dog stays. Now the worst part is I can get the dog to stay, but Hines can actually push him off the switch. Okay, I don't know if that worked. Nope, okay. He got shoved off the switch a little bit, so we're gonna have to take the backup strats here, so we gotta tell him to follow me again. This is typical. This is usually what happens. And tell him to stay, but he keeps getting pushed off by Hines. And now I'm stun locked. Alright. Yeah, this is unfortunately like one of the most finicky parts of the entire run. This is kind of brutal to have this dog stay on the switch. Oh, okay. No, he moved off again. Okay, we're gonna take a backup here. Let's bring Heinz down here and try and get him stuck on a corner. It's really the only way that I'm gonna be able to deal with this before I get killed here. Punching Lassie, so mean. Alright, now hopefully he gets stuck on a corner. Okay, so that's like the super safe method. And now we gotta go round up Eddie Hines down here. But obviously, if you're trying to do things fast, you want to try and do it while he's chasing you, but that can be really hard. Get him in here. And then we trap him in a cage of his own. A little bit faster to jump up over this railing here. Whatever, I missed the jump. But rather than climbing down the stairs or jumping normally, if you jump up here and kind of like quick turn, which I totally did not do correctly, it's a little bit faster. And there we have it. Sub 16. Not bad. I recently got a sub 13 on this the other night, which was a really good time. So there's Lassie on PS2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Really fun game, fun run. I recommend it, even casually. The game is just kind of a lot of fun to just check out. And I'm gonna get set up for my next run.